if you thought the search for scapegoats ended along with the 30-year-long civil war in Sri Lanka in 2009, think again. The country's majority Sinhalese and largest minority Tamil Hindus are no longer fighting each other, but they may both now have a new scapegoat, Sri Lanka's second largest Muslim minority. Now, Sri Lanka has declared a state of emergency for 10 days to rein in the spread of communal violence. Government's announcement comes a day after Buddhists and Muslims clashed in central district of Kandy. Tension has been growing between the two communities in Sri Lanka over the past year, with some hardline Buddhist groups accusing Muslims of forcing people to convert to Islam and vandalizing Buddhist archaeological sites. Now, the aggression towards Muslims was primarily started by the Bodubala Sena, a militant Buddhist monk organization several years after the end of the war. There were severe riots in southwestern Sri Lanka's Kalutara district back in 2014. Mosques, homes, shops, factories owned by Muslims all were attacked, and 4 people were killed and thousands rendered homeless. Now, last week, at least 5 Sri Lankan Muslims were severely injured in Sri Lanka's Tamil-speaking eastern province, where Muslims are ironically in the majority. The province was formerly claimed by the LTTE as a homeland. Now, this week, the scene of attacks has shifted to the holy Buddhist city of Kandy in the central hills of Sri Lanka. Special forces of the police and the armed forces are out in the town that houses the holiest Buddhist relic, the tooth of the Lord Buddha, and its surrounding areas. After the death of a Sinhalese man allegedly at the hands of a Muslim mob, there is simmering tension in Kandy and fears that Sinhalese and Muslim mobs may go on the rampage. Now, though about 35 Sri Lankan Muslims were believed to have left the island nation to join the Islamic State in previous years, Sri Lankans of all religions are famously tolerant and well assimilated into their country's unique culture and traditions. But of late, radical Buddhist groups such as the Bodubala Sena are on the rise again. This time, they are alleging forcible conversion by Sri Lanka's Muslims. Now, given a debt crisis and a much weakened coalition government in Colombo, Sri Lanka's President Maithripala Sirisena and Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe, both of whom are the authors of the current so-called unity government, will have to act and act fast. That is, if they want to prevent their country's blood-soaked history from repeating itself. Right, joining me for more on this story is my colleague Aisha Sindhu from the WION newsroom. Aisha, we've seen the Sinhalese battle with the Tamils not so long ago. Now it seems the Sinhalese and the Tamils are battling the minority Muslims.
Absolutely, Ramesh, and it is, we can't of course ignore the fact that there has been a rise of so-called extremist Buddhist groups, radical Buddhist groups within Sri Lanka in the last few years. The report that you just read out pointed out to stray incidents of violence against Muslim minorities, and interestingly the eastern region also, where Muslims are in a majority. Now, specifically as far as this latest incident goes, there was a case of one Buddhist man reportedly being beaten up by Muslim men last week, leading to his death. It seems like what has happened this time around in the city of Kandy has been in retaliation to that event last week. A shop and a neighborhood, which is a Muslim majority neighborhood, was burned down. Now, authorities have also discovered the body of one Muslim man, a young Muslim man I should add, in one of these burnt out buildings. So fearing retaliation and fearing communal violence, this state of emergency has been declared. It's going to last for 10 days. The hope is, of course, to crack down on any possible violence that may be caused due to simmering tensions between these two religious groups.
Right. On that note, Aisha Sindhu, thank you so much for joining me with all the latest about the story.